Welcome to the Real Talk Podcast, where we create conversation and community among real people about everyday issues. This is a place for you to hear truth, connect with others, and find answers to your questions. Here's your host, Alan Reed.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Real Talk. I'm Alan Reed, host of the show, and we are excited about a new series we are kicking off today. During the month of November, as we head into the holiday season, we're talking all about giving, serving, and caring for others. In Acts 20, verse 35, it says, "In everything I did, I show you that by this kind of hard work, we must help those in need. Remembering the words the Lord Jesus himself said, it is more blessed to give than to receive." And that's exactly what we want to do here today, is just to highlight three different ministries in this area, Northwest Arkansas, and to learn more about the individuals who lead those ministries and the motivation behind their work. But before we do that, I want to encourage those of you who are listening to like, subscribe, share, and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and your favorite podcasting platform. This not only allows our future content to pop up on your feed, but it also helps us expand our reach and influence in the lives of those outside of our current viewing audience. Thank you for your partnership with us to get the word out. We appreciate your support. Today, we have invited Buck and Emily Ortega onto the show. They started and run a ministry through our church during the holiday months called Gifts from a Manger that helps provide Christmas gifts for families in need. Buck and Emily, welcome to the show. Glad to have you guys. Absolutely. Before we talk about the ministry itself, we just want to give the listeners an opportunity to get to know you guys. So either one of you can jump in on this one. Just tell us a bit about you, your family, and what you guys love to do in life.
So we've got 6 children. Emily and I have been married 13 years. And we've got children from age 2 on up to age 12. They're great. They're wild. It's controlled chaos around our house, I'd say, a lot of the time. I think what we realize most of the time is they can make a mess really, really fast, but they're getting to the age that they can clean it up really quick, which is awesome. So we have a lot of fun. We make messes and we clean them up, and we have they love their horses and they love being outside and doing all kinds of fun kid stuff.
That's a full-time job for both of you in itself, 6 kids, when I learned that the other day. And you said ages 11 to...
12 to 2.
12, okay, 12 to 2. Yeah, my goodness.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
I said it's a lot of love, peace, patience, kindness, and go through the pattern of what that is with an equal dose of discipline.
Yeah.
And I think that's, as the more we've had, the more we've learned is that equal dose of discipline with love is kind of showing the most fruit in our parenting.
Absolutely. And getting to know you guys, that's a big part of your life. Talking about hobbies and passions. I'm sure you have some of those. Some of that's probably been put on hold a little bit, but what do you guys enjoy to do when you have free time, when the kids are being watched by grandparents? What do you enjoy doing? Sleeping?
No, we don't do much of that. My passion is my horses.
Yeah.
And luckily the kids are equally interested in it. Yeah. So that's been pretty neat. Anytime I have a chance to do something with the horses, we kind of like our kids, and we end up just kind of bringing them along in everything we do. Even if it's just one-on-one with a kid, that's kind of what I enjoy. So that definitely what brings me back and gets me kind of grounded again is my horses and just being able to be out there with them. Buck, what do you like to do?
All of the above. I mean, I think just time spent when we get a chance to spend time together. It's going to grab lunch or something, or honestly going to the grocery store together. Those are the times we normally get to just one-on-one. Yeah. Is a lot of times just doing normal things, chores, things that need to be done. She'll bring me if I'm working. If I'm on a tractor somewhere, she'll bring me lunch, and we'll have lunch quick, and those kind of things. So those are the moments that are when we get a chance to just be alone and talk and
that's good.
Spend some quick minutes together.
And if I understand, you're an entrepreneur. Like, you started up several different businesses, and tell me a little bit about your business background and what you like to do.
It goes all different ways. I feel like I'm doing something different just about every day. I've been a franchisee with the Planet Fitness Group, and I dabble in different real estate investments and have some farms here and there. So just all those kind of things. I try to honestly have speaking engagements as much as possible with my former professional athletic career. I get the chance to do FCA type stuff, and I try to do as much of that on my schedule as I can. As many people will listen to me, I try to get a chance to speak to them and share the gospel and share my experiences on leadership and how I can point people to Christ, honestly.
Well, that's awesome. And from what I understand, you both lead a life group, which at our church is a Bible study, our Sunday Bible studies. And do you guys both teach the same age group, ladies and guys?
Yes.
Okay, and that's seniors, right? So 6 kids, work, you got horses, got a lot of things, and you have enough time to prepare for a lesson and teach God's word each and every Sunday. And so tell me a little bit about that.
I think it just started with, we weren't members too long before we were asked to teach 6th graders. And we were like, all right, I think we can do this. I think we're comfortable with that level. And did that for a year or two. And then they bumped us up to the high schoolers. And once we got up there, we realized they know if you're not prepared. And with our busy lives and nonstop, our kids are up at 7 and they don't go to bed till 10 o'clock sometimes. There's not a lot of time for unless you have a commitment. And we just believe that commitment we have every Sunday morning for those kids that are waiting for us to give them a lesson holds us accountable for the week. And that is it's just become something that I enjoy. We have younger kids, and so now that's teaching us like what those older kids are put up with and what those other kids are confronted with in today's world. And I think it's changed our parenting. It's prepared us in a different way than I think we would have originally, not knowing the questions and what these kids are learning and seeing. So it has blessed us beyond what we could ever imagine. And, I love it. I can't wait to get in there every Sunday morning and see my girls and, talk to them throughout the week and just keep a hold of them and try to give them as much information and prepare them to leave for college as we can. And that's where we are right now. We're teaching apologetics, which Buck and I, and we're teaching it with another couple that's our passion right now is apologetics and teaching kids.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
And
you lead, so
we're
is
joined right
there
now.
2 senior groups? One of them's a male, one's a female group?
Yes,
and, so you guys,
and we branch out every now and then. We do a group.
Oh, yeah,
and
that's
then
good.
when we start seeing a little something, we maybe take a Sunday and let's split and let's dive deep with the girls and
good way to do it
and that kind of thing. And then we come back together, and so we just kind of read our group and see what they need. And
well, thank you guys for doing that. We moved here 3.5 years ago when my son was entering his senior year, which is hard for him. And man, his life group was huge for him, just making friends. And he was impressed. We were doing ministry and church planting out in Colorado. So our youth group was smaller for one, but most of the kids that went to church with him didn't know the Bible very well. We were just reaching people in our community. So when he came here, he's like, Dad, back in Colorado, I felt like I was the Bible answer guy, but here he goes, these guys know their Bible. And he actually felt like he needed a little bit of like prep beforehand because he wanted to kind of run with them in that way. So thank you guys for what you do, equipping them for the world ahead. So, well, let's talk a little bit about your ministry itself, Gifts from a Manger that you guys started. How many years ago did you start it? And
I'm guessing 5 or 6.
Okay. But it's more
at
than
least.
that.
Yeah, and you say 5 or 6, and it's probably 7 or 8. I always don't think as far back, but I'd say it's been quite a few years. different kind of formats each year. So I know it's been quite a bit.
Well, tell us a little bit about the ministry. What's the goals of this ministry, and then practically how does it work? Like for someone who's just curious, how does it function and work? What's the process? Just tell us a little bit about it.
So it's looked very different each year just because of different circumstances and different people, different church staff who has helped organize it, has kind of pulled it in different directions. 2 years ago, we kind of went back to the original format, more or less, and I think that's kind of the route we'll continue to take it. And we identify, we either someone finds someone in the community, or they apply themselves, depending on how we've found particular families, but who have physical material type needs in the Christmas season. A young kid, they understand at a very early age what Christmas is. It to the world, to Americans, it's about gifts and those kind of things. And we understand there's people in the community who may not have anything under the Christmas tree, or very little, just difficult circumstance they find themselves in. And those are the families we try to find, and have been very fortunate to find those families who have a major need over the Christmas season. And we invite them to an evening of a fun shopping spree where they get to go, they get paired up with someone and they go out shopping for like an hour and a half. And it's truly, cool. Then they're truly getting like what they want for their child. They get to see that, and they get to pick it off the shelf and say, man, this is what my child really wants this Christmas. And bring it back to the church, and we have hundreds of people waiting to wrap these gifts in a matter of like 45 minutes, over 1,000 gifts each year. Wow. Normally. And they go upstairs and have a dinner, and they get to drop their kids off here too, which again, it's a church body comes out as an army that night and really helps. Wow. Because we've got childcare, we've got people wrapping gifts, we've got people serving food upstairs, shopping with these folks, and it's a really fun night, and you get to bless them and with some material needs, what they truly have. Over the years, it's not just toys. We see them buying blankets and space heaters and kitchen items, practical necessities. Yeah. And so it's a blessing for us who, I always help just wrapping gifts. I'm down there just wrapping gifts with everyone, and and you get to pray over these gifts and see them.
That's cool.
See the things that are bought is great.
So for a family that signs up for this, the day of the event, a mom or dad or both of them, they come with their kids to the church. They drop off their kids, and then they go with somebody shopping out together.
They're paired with a church member.
So the kids aren't there, which is great, right? It makes it a little bit easier, and plus it's more of a surprise for the kids. Right. Then they come back to the church, and someone else is going to be wrapping the gifts for them, marking their names on the gift and all that. And then after that happens, is the night over?
They go upstairs with the person that that they're paired with. They go upstairs. We have a dinner for them, and they stay with the person our church member that we paired them with. And that's another thing. They just get that connection. Yeah. They sit down, they eat with them, and that's usually when the conversations start.
That's awesome. And the kids, are they involved?
No, the kids are downstairs. Brother Shay and April and all them they have a Christmas program set up for them and games, and we do pizza, and it's just kind of like a parents' night out.
Wow, that's cool.
That's cool. And come upstairs, the parents get to eat, and then we do a little program or a gospel presentation for them, so they, to wrap it in, and what exactly is this, and what is Gifts from Manger, and the true meaning, because like you said, some of them only know the meaning of it of just materialistic things, and we want that need met. But more importantly, we want them to understand why we're doing this, and we just tell them why we're doing it, and that we love them, and we are praying over them, and then when it's over, They come downstairs, they go get their car, they bring their car around to the circle, and the person yells their last name, and those group of kids run out with their gifts and load it in their car, and we send them on their way. And it's just a cool experience, all around.
That's awesome. I have not participated in this in the last 2 years that I've been here.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see this. That sounds real exciting.
We're excited to have it back to that one-on-one.
And I like the way you guys are organizing it. I've seen other churches do something similar, but it's where almost like they bring a bunch of stuff into like a big gymnasium and they get to pick and choose what's already been kind of pre-purchased in a way, but in this way, they're actually going out and they're picking out specific things for their kids and for their family. So they get to do the shopping piece, which I think is really, important and helpful. What sparked this desire for you guys to be a part of doing this and helping to start this up? Was there an event, or was it something that you heard someone else do and thought we could do that here? What was it that?
A little bit of all of it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was two parts. We were living in New Orleans. I was playing with the Saints a while back, and Deuce McAllister, one of the running backs, who is a big community guy, he's from Mississippi, so he was obviously well known, and he would do a big thing where he would pair players with kids from the community, and we'd take them shopping, and it was just cool. That was the first time I'd ever done that.
Yeah.
And so we saw that, just, hey, very cool.
And you experienced it, like you participated?
Right, I participated. Emily and I were able to take our kids shopping, and the cool part, it was somewhat set up the same way in the sense of the child we were shopping with was only shopping for their siblings.
Yeah.
And their parents.
Supposedly.
Wow.
Right, and their parents. It was get a gift for so-and-so and so-and-so, and then at the end, they're like, we would tell them, hey, now you get to go pick something for yourself. And they had no idea. They thought simply they were there. So it was cool because the kid really thought they were shopping for their family members and their parents and all. And then they got to go pick out something for themselves.
That's
so,
cool.
It's the same type thing. And then so once we're here in Northwest Arkansas, we were involved with the youth program here as far as teaching. And the youth pastor at the time, Billy Sanderson, he had done one of the Wednesday nights, he was speaking on giving and told a story. I remember Emily and I just standing in the back, and he told a story about some guy up in Minnesota at his church, an older gentleman, would find it was single moms in the community who were really struggling during the Christmas season, and he would just anonymously bless them. He would find out needs. He said it was crazy. One may need a car and one needed a washer machine or different things like that. And he would just anonymously get them these Christmas gifts and tie it into, hey, you did nothing for this Christmas gift, which is what how we tie in gifts from a manger. You did nothing, just like we have. We've done nothing to deserve or to earn. God's grace for us and Jesus' blood. And forgiveness that we've received. So we heard that, and we're like, well, why can't we do something similar? Yeah. And so the first year it was single moms that we had, and then it's kind of just morphed different ways and changed different ways and gone back and forth, and just always been a really cool environment of identifying needs in the community.
That's so cool.
And filling the need, but hopefully filling a spiritual need, and you see that when our church body gets to shop with these people, and that connection's made, and we hear stories months and months after the Christmas season. I'm still talking to them. I still text them, and we get together occasionally, or hey, they reached out. They had a sickness and they needed something, or they needed a ride, or they need just awesome. Small things that continues that connection. Planting seeds. With different folks around town. Awesome. It's very cool.
And that's the power behind it being beyond just a one-time event, which would obviously be really impactful, but to know that they're connected with someone that cares, that's praying for them, that's supportive, wants to help them out. That's so cool. I'm hearing a couple of different ways that people can get involved, but why don't you guys just take a moment and share if someone wanted to get involved in doing this, whether it's leading up to the event, the night of the event, after the event, what would that look like?
I think it's the night of the event. It's just showing up and, being ready to just put a smile on and just, you never know what you're going to be faced with. You never know what what's going to come in, what it's going to be, and it's just that smile and just that true servant heart of what do you need? Let's, and then, the people helping wrapping, and that's, friends, inviting non-church members, just getting it out there that, hey, come and help us and, come and do this with us.
That's so awesome. So some people will I don't know what you call them, like shoppers, but they're kind of connected with people. So
right. We have our host shoppers, and then we need lots of people to help wrap. Yeah. Lots of wrappers.
The food that's provided, is that something that people volunteer to do?
Usually that or a life group kind of steps up and like, hey, we're going to be servers, and then
if you work in the nursery, we need you that night.
There's
April Brown will be calling you if you work in the kids department with Shay. He'll need hands on deck as far as he puts on a big Christmas program for the kids that are dropped off while their parents are shopping. So nursery, kids,
that's awesome.
And
wrapping.
We're wrapping over 1,000 gifts in 45 minutes. So that takes an army, and then serving food, greeting, carrying. Because think about it, they get back from shopping, we carry gifts in, have to keep everything organized, and then wrap them, and then to carry them back out to the cars. So the youth are always huge. They always show up in droves to help out, which is great to see. They have a blast with it, and
that's
all
cool.
wearing their ugly sweaters normally, and just having a lot of fun doing that.
That's awesome. So if someone wants to help out, I could see where if someone's involved at the church here, they could probably contact one of the leaders over one of the ministries or something. And so is there a way for someone, if they're hearing this, listening to the podcast, they don't go to our church or they don't go to church at all, but yet they want to help out, is there a way for them to do that? Do they just call the church office and say, hey, we've heard about Gifts from a Manger, would love to connect somehow and help out?
Yes, without a doubt, the church office will have info. We actually haven't set an exact date yet, but we'll have that soon. And they always have an informational deal, printout at the phone so that they can answer any questions like that and tell you how you can get involved.
Okay, well, good. One last question for you guys, and again, either one of you can answer this, or just one of you. But this whole season, these are things that we can do all year around. But I think during the holiday season, it really is a time where, it's a giving season. As parents, we give to our kids as we grow older, but I think it's also just a great opportunity through November with Thanksgiving and into Christmas where people want to participate in things. And so what have you guys learned through the years of doing this? Just like the Bible verse that we talked about at the beginning, it is better to give than receive. It's not just because it's better but it actually is better for us as individuals. You can almost look at it in a selfish way. It's not, but we gain something when we learn how to give ourselves away a little bit. With somebody that is just living life, listening to this podcast, what has this experience and things like it meant to you guys? What has it done for you? What have you learned from it over the years of being involved with ministries like this?
I think it's been neat and for our children. I mean, we bring them. Yeah. Our kids know, our kids see, our kids are wrapping, going and helping get socks and underwear. And that's just in being able to explain each item.
Yeah, it's a great family project. Yeah.
So that's been a really cool thing for us, is just having our children involved from day one. I mean, I've always had one, in a baby visual strapped to my chest, wrapping presents and serving. I've always had one with me, and then the others have always helped. And when it's something we can bring up through the year, throughout the year about, in different situations, you can bring up that, about the needs, about, not everyone, whatever the situation may be, but we've seen it being used in our lives throughout the year of just conversations about, physical needs, equally, spiritual needs.
Yeah, that's good.
Needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we obviously know we'll never meet humanity will never meet the needs of humanity. But it doesn't mean you don't try, and it doesn't mean you don't do something. Just because you can't do everything doesn't mean you don't do something. Yeah. So get out there and touch as many people as you can. And the bottom line and the heart behind every piece of this ministry is, hey, here's some gifts, but this is the real meaning of Christmas. And there's, moths will eat this, a lot of these toys and, clothes, what are they going to do? They're going to wear out. They're going to break. But there's that eternity.
Greatest gift.
There's a gift, and that's why it's obviously gifts from a manger. Everything's pointing back to that manger and that gift of Christ. And if it's one a year that we hear, if it's five, if it's every little connection, every smile that you see on these people's face is worth it and makes it worth it. Even though you're not meeting all the needs, and this world is a hurting world and a fallen world, but it doesn't mean you don't try.
Yeah, that's great. I know over the years, being involved in ministry, starting churches, going on mission trips, to me, I'm convinced that the greatest platform for sharing the greatest news ever is serving other people. I mean, Jesus did it in a practical way. He healed people, and it showed the power of God in that. But it's just amazing what care and love will do to open up someone's heart and even just kind of lower the walls where they'll hear about the greatest message that's ever been told. And so thank you guys for investing in others, for helping to get this ministry up off the ground. I know, Buck, you said before we ever got started, Alan, this is a ministry of the church. And we're just here supporting that. But thank you guys for supporting it. It takes people to get a ministry off the ground, and people that are passionate and to take the lead. And you guys have done that. So thank you for doing that. I want to also just thank those of you who are joining us that have listened to the end. One, if you've enjoyed this podcast, please share it with somebody. We want to inspire people, but we also want to point people to this ministry and other ministries like it, where they can get involved, where they can be able to take an opportunity to invest in other people as well. Next week, we're going to have we're going to highlight another ministry and another individual behind that ministry as well. So continue to listen this next week. And don't forget, help us, like, share, and subscribe to the Real Talk podcast on your favorite podcasting platform. And we really hope to see you guys next week. And again, Buck and Emily, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Alan.
Thanks, Alan.
You bet.